Coming up in this video, I've got a very quick review of Rebellion Spiced Rum. So if you want to know what it smells like, what it tastes like, and how you can best enjoy it, then stay tuned. Hey Spiced Rum fans, I am Steve the Barman and I'm hoping these videos are helping you to drink, serve and enjoy your favourite spiced rums even more. If you like this video, then make sure you give me a thumbs up, and if you like my content, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a future video. And if you want to chat to other spiced rum fans, then look at the big blue banner that's below. Come and join us in the Spiced Rum Club. Get involved, the community's growing, it's a really fun place to hang out. But as always, I want to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know about your spiced rum journey. What spiced rums are you drinking now? What are your favourite mixes? What are you hoping to try next? So let me know in the comments below. Right then, Rebellion Spiced Rum, 37.5% spiced rum. Been around for quite a long time now, launched roughly about 2012. Confession time, I've not actually ever had it, ever tried it. The whole reason being, and this is probably bartender ego, I have to apologise, that's all it is, because I know who makes it and where it comes from, and I'm really sorry, that shouldn't sort of play any part in this, but that's why I've kind of avoided it in the past. However, I've seen a lot of you guys that are watching this, that this has been your go-to. So I'm actually looking forward to trying it, to see what it's like. Now, let me explain. The people that make this are from, it's a Dutch brand, basically, Toorank. And Toorank, if you go to most supermarkets, especially the big players, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Toorank are kind of responsible for making quite a lot of the cheaper alternative products. So I think it's Sainsbury's, you've got Sunset Reef, which is their Malibu equivalent, and you've got Aspen, which is their Archer's equivalent. I know Tesco, and I think Sainsbury's as well, do Toorank's kind of, not imitation bourbon, but Old Samuel, the kind of cheaper bourbon. So that's kind of why I've sort of dismissed it as well. The other brand as well, big brand out there, is Sloan's Gin. That again is another one of their cheaper end of the market. So again, that's all it's been. It's been because I've known who's made it, I've kind of avoided it, and I probably shouldn't have done. Anyway, so we know there's Caribbean rums. They're shipped over to Holland to do Toorank's massive distillery to be blended, and they actually do something really cool. They actually sort of list the spices or botanicals, whatever you want to call them, but the spices they use to spice up this rum. So on one side we've got cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla and pepper, and then on the other side we've got cloves, bitter orange, ginger and cardamom. And we've actually got some marketing blurb on the bottle as well, so I'm just going to read you, there's 3 parts to it. The first bit on that side basically says, in the days of sail, the Caribbean was the crossroads of the world, and it was the time that the spices were first introduced to the islands. And if we flip it around to the other side, it says the art of spicing rum can be traced back to the early sailors who used the abundant supply of locally grown spices to improve the taste and the flavour of the early rums. And then the blurb on the back just elaborates a little bit more, so I'll read you the whole thing. Spices, more than anything, epitomise the exotic climate and character of the Caribbean. In the days of sail, the trade wind routes centred on the region, bringing trade from all over the world. Spices like peppercorns and cloves were worth their weight in gold, and there was gold, there were pirates. Rebellion Spiced Rum is a blend of Caribbean rum and exotic spices that uniquely capture the flavour and the history of the Caribbean, its rum, its spices and its pirates. Right then, so what does it smell like? Let's crack the bottle. Have a good whiff. Wow. I tell you what, that smells really good on the nose. The first thing, there's a lot of vanilla there, but actually the first things that come up at me are kind of pepper and cloves. That's the first big hit that I get. The vanilla is kind of the afterthought, but it's there. There's a lot of vanilla. And I want to say I get a bit of ginger as well, but the big overriding sort of flavour for me, or aroma I should say, is definitely clove. And definitely a bit of pepper on there. Right then, so what does this taste like? The very first thing I found, that where the glass hit my lips up there, was the spice. The real sort of peppery spice bite hit the lips. But sweetness scale, let's go for that first. I was going to give this a 4 out of 5 on my sweetness scale, but I'm going to dial that back to about a 3.5. Purely because other 4s I've given, they've been quite thick. This is actually quite a thin liquid. It doesn't have that sort of thick sweetness to it, so it is quite sweet, but I think I'm going for a 3.5 out of 5. On the actual taste though, I get the sort of spices are there. I wouldn't say they're out in there, but I do get them around the lips, but I wouldn't say they're out in force that really come through. But the one thing I do kind of get is a little bit of tropical fruity notes. I want to say, I don't know where this is coming from, this is just weird, but I want to say a bit of apricot coming through on that. But I'd say the more I sip it, the more I get the vanilla. It's definitely kind of the pepper, but all the aromas of the ginger and the cloves, I don't actually get too much of on the palate. That said, I think it's a very, very nice spiced rum. Yes, I wouldn't put this in the category of rums that are sort of in the mid sort of £20. This is definitely a spiced rum that's at the cheaper end of the spectrum, but for £16 to £18, that's actually not too bad. Right then, how can you enjoy this as a highball? I've had a pretty good play with this. Is it a rum and coke? Yes, it is. You are going to quite easily enjoy that as a normal rum and coke. For me, I'm not overly convinced any of the signatures go that well with it. It kind of, because of the spice in that, I'm not overly convinced that. And as I keep saying, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not the best one to ask about the smoky and the woody either, because they're really, really not my palates. That's my favourite one of the signatures, and I wasn't overly keen. But rum and coke, definitely Coke Zero, full fat Coke is definitely a winner. Really like that combination. As a kind of long highball, sort of refreshing highball, the ginger ales worked very, very well. Couldn't split them. Equally, very different drinks, but equally as nice. A normal ginger ale, the spiced orange ginger ale, I just thought they worked very, very well. Really nice. I was going to say refreshing. It sounds a bit weird, but kind of a nice long highball without that sort of stickiness to it. I really, really like that. But where I thought this spiced rum did excel is actually it goes pretty well with the fruitier stuff. So I'm going to bring a new one into play. It's not often I crack that out, but it's kind of a traditional lemonade. I've got a funny feeling Franklin's & Sons are going to rebrand this as an elderflower lemonade, but it is an out and out sort of proper traditional lemonade with a subtle hint of elderflower. That just worked really well. Then when it comes to the pineapple sodas, again, I couldn't split them. Very, very different drinks, but both worked very, very well. That's the sort of sweeter version, the more innocent version. The Fentiman's Tropical Soda makes a bit more of a complex long mixed drink. The spices kind of bounce around off sort of pineapple, and as I say, that isn't as sweet in there, but you've got bits of cardamom, bits of juniper in there, so it kind of makes this a bit more complex drink. But there's something in there for everyone. Really, really tasty. And then the fun, innocent drinks. I'm going these, the Rubicons, they worked, and the Tropical Tango, they are just fun in a glass. They really, really are. You cannot go wrong with them. As I say, Rubicon have literally just rebranded in the last couple of weeks or so. It's just something in there for everyone. Long mixed drinks, kind of the whole hurricane thing going on is just gonna be lovely. You know, point of difference. If you're not a huge Coke fan, try them. They are lovely. And for me, actually, if I'm being honest, they were actually better than the pineapple soda. I would rate, especially that kind of mango one, I would put that mango as probably my out and out favourite fruity one with that. Is it any better than the Lidl Liberty one? I still, for the same price bracket, I still think it's the Lidl one has the edge. That's been Rebellion. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and then subscribe to catch the rest of my stuff. I'll see you really soon.